There are a total of 2 giraffes that you're going to make, and I put the pictures of the giraffes on my screen. Right now you should be sharing my screen with me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to start with the giraffe that is looking to our left-hand side. So that's going to be here, after which you're going to put the second giraffe up top. So you're not making too much of the neck, but you are working on the other stuff. So let's start. Before you do anything, I want you to plug out your areas. A lot of times, unless you plan what you want to draw, you might end up missing space for what you really need. So this is, remember all these lines that I'll draw, keep them really, really light because I'm going to ask you to erase them. So here you go, starting with almost like a parenthesis to the back of the first giraffe's head. I'm going to change over for a 6B pencil so you all can see it a little bit better. This is 8B. Okay. This is the back of my giraffe's head. I'm not drawing all the details, so please leave a little bit of space and angle this giraffe's face downward. So when you draw it downward, notice that this is the bottom of the neck in the back. This is the bottom of the back of the neck, but I'm not taking this line all the way to that level. I'm stopping it higher. And that's more important, in my opinion. You're going to create a gentle curve for its cheek, and then you leave it alone. You don't draw anything more than this. This is how much space I need for giraffe number 1. Now I'm going to draw giraffe number 2 here. Just the outlines. I'm not trying to make details to begin with. I want to plan myself out first. Now, before I go any further, let's look at this giraffe that's looking straight at us, this guy. So he can be over here, he or she. So what you want to do is you want to start with the front of the mouth, which is like a deep letter U. So this is the, oh, my internet connection is saying it's unstable. So this is the front of the mouth. Going up atop here, on top of this one, is where you're going to formulate nostril number 1 and nostril number 2. So you're right above the mouth area, right here. This is the actual nostril, not the skin around it. If this is my nostril, my eyes are not going to be higher than this area. So I'm looking at the gap. I want to make it, the perspective look good. So I'm trying to assess how much space I need between the nostril to my eye level.
Miss Daisy?
Yeah?
Is this on canvas or paper? I came a little late.
Canvas, please.
Okay, thank you.
The next thing that you're going to watch, let me explain. If this is the side of your face, your eye for the left-hand side is aligned to the mouth. You cannot take it past it. You can't go inside of it. So what I'm going to ask you to do is right over here, you're going to create the curve for the eye right there. Next step, going back to the nostrils, everyone, going to create a line around it. And look at what I'm going to do. Watch the camera, please. I'm going to take it inward, and then I'm going to bring it over the eye. So that's where I'm getting my alignment. I can get rid of this line. I don't need it.
Let me tell you something. When you are on a chair to get a haircut, you cannot get up in the middle.
Now, the next thing you need to know is the eye on the right side will be outside of the side of the mouth. So it needs to be put over here. So if you keep a perpendicular kind of a pencil or anything to help you, that can give you a little bit of comfort. So right over here, I'm going to ask you to make a more angular sort of a line. 1, 2. Remember, this eye will be smaller and this one will be larger. So 2 different things. Took off that line totally now. You always create the inside of a tear duct right here before you create the outer pocket, like so. This looks a bit big for the face, so I'm going to reduce on the size a little bit. In comparison to the size of the face that I was going to make, it just felt really big, so I've reduced to make it more manageable. Now, come back to the nostril again. You're going to add a double line around the right side. And you're going to understand, you don't need to draw this, but the front of the nose sort of builds up here. You can just draw the line or not, because we're mainly going to paint over there. Now come back down to the bottom of the nostril and pull a diagonal line out. So at this point, I know that I want to get this first line off, building up, building up. Next, we'll come back up to our eye. We're going to again make a tear duct and drop the level, but not go as far out as the outside. And you're going to add the eyeball on the inside of that eye. So I'm going to expand this for you guys a bit, just so you can see. Look at the way I swung my pencil line around the eye just to make sure that it looks like it's pocketed. While we've got this magnified, go ahead and build your other eye. So you're going to build this around. This is your eye on the other side. It too has got a little bit of an arch right here, right there. Coming back into the center. Now, let's finish off whatever you can draw off the face on the inside. So, what you need to know is directly above the center main, if you climb up higher over here, there's a bump. There's a bone right here that every giraffe has. So you can make it like a bump. It should be, if the curve was going in the same direction, that would be your middle. Once you have that bump, you can come back to the top of your eyes and you can build a line to go to that bump. But on the right eye, you're going to first build a curve. You're not touching the bump. In fact, you're going to make it like so. So you have 2 lines. You create an arch over the eye. Okay, here we are. I stopped at that point. Sorry, it's the internet connection. I apologize. Here we go. So we've got this much done. Next step, come back to the mouth and you're going to make the lower part of the mouth. So right here is where you would have the place where it opens. So there's a little place where it opens the lower section of the mouth. It's again saying that it's unstable, my internet, so we'll do the best we can. Now create a flat over here, diagonally opposite to the tip, and then wind it up here. Wind it up here. Once you've created the bottom of this mouth, you can create a little line for making the side of your giraffe's face. Now, from the corner of the eye, you want to come down diagonally, not straight. So you want to build a diagonal kind of an area. That completes his face from the side. And from the opposite side, right here. Give you a minute to make sure you're caught up with all of this, and then we're going to complete the face, the neck, the ears, whatever I can make on my paper size. Now remember, the picture is on the computer. If you are drawing smaller than I am and you have a lot of room, go ahead and make the rest of the ears or the horns or whatever you have it. But I'm drawing it pretty big so we can really work on the faces. And so I'm going to run out of space. I'm sure of that. After you make this part of the cheek, the next line you're going to make will be a vertical and it will come and close. There are layers of skin. Both of these represent the cheek, but there's a bone line right here, which is why we drew the first line, and then there's some more skin right here. Now, right under here between the mouth and the chin here, you're going to add a few layers like this, 1 and 2. That's it. This is the wrinkles on the underside of the giraffe's neck. After which, you're going to extend its neckline down here, one side, and you'll go to the cheek to get the second side. So this is how you're going to form your neck. Moving up over here above the eyes, next to the bone, you're going to have a close line that goes up. This is one of his horns right there, and look at the picture so you can reference it to say how close it needs to be. The second horn starts from the highest point of the right eye, and you're going to just let it go over. So you'll notice I don't have, it's gone past my paper. I'm not going to be able to draw more than this. I'm going to move to my ears, but you are welcome to add any other lines that you want to. Never bring down the size of any part of your drawing that might be going past the paper line. Proportion is very important no matter what. Coming back to his left eye, look at the gap. I'm going to start right here and I'm going to make a short line up first from on top of the eye and let it go out. come to the corner of the eye here and short line out again before you take it over. Do me a favor, get rid of this box. Leave only the gloves and see what's in there. I don't know what's in that box. I need room in this office of mine to set things up.
In the reference.
This is old reference. Take it out. Put it in my archive room. And this box is okay. Only those two. And if you can get rid of the clay from here, Miss Elizabeth. Okay. Next ear from this side. Notice you have to kind of see the space between the horns to the ear. And then you can draw in your first line and angle it away from yourself. So again, study this gap. This is called negative space, these two. Look at the picture and then check to see if your negative space looks the same as the photograph. We're making our way to the corner of his right eye, going up diagonally and over. Now we make our way to the first giraffe that we started and we left some space for. So we're going to build on its eye and things like that. This giraffe is behind the first one. So when you make the horns, you have to erase away whatever is conflicting. Let's see if there is anything conflicting. First things first. This is the back arc of the giraffe. Come to the front. And what you want to do is set in your nostrils. So what you're going to do is a straight line. And you turn this into like a jelly bean kind of a shape. This is one nostril. There is a gap, and the second nostril I can only see like a little bump like this. What I will do now is get rid of this line that I had started off with, and now I will shape it. So that's my nostril right there. Come to the top of this one more time. And you're going to pull back a straight line. And you're going to go up. You use your first line as a guide. That's what you do. It helps you to understand where you want to be. So I made a line that extends from the tip of the nostril. Notice I used the tip of the nostril to start with that. Before I get closer to the back, I want to make that bone here. There's my bone. Just like there was a bone on the second giraffe's head over here, this bone shows on this one as well. Come back to the front, the nostril again. You're going to extend the nostril line down and out. Leave it alone, don't finish it. Come to the first nostril you made, which is the left one for this giraffe, and come directly behind, under the back side. So this back side of it, the top of the nostril, I'm going to make a dot under there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this forward and then make a curve. Coming up from under here, you will see that there is a bigger kind of a chin area right there, which we draw. And then what we want to do is we want to kind of level it before we make our curve to join the bottom of the back of the cheek. So this is the shape of the face for the most part. Now the reason we made the nostril area first is if you look at this giraffe, there is a colored section of it that kind of is moving upward up along the face. Just like you made the front of the nose area here, you also have a similar area right there, and we want to address that. Now, this is the bone right here. You want to go diagonally opposite to it and put a marker right here for the inside corner of its eye. Now, from here you're going to have a few different sections. So I'm going to expand just a little bit. See if I can do it. Oh my goodness. Let's do this. Okay. So from here, what you want to do is look, the top of the eye needs to be at an angle like this. It is not straight. It's not horizontal. Then I'm going to drop that line and bring it towards the dot. First, I want this angle to be correct. Then I want to drop that line one more time for the back. Right directly below this horizontal line, I want the deepest part of its eye, which means I'm going to go down to here almost and also bring it over. So this creates a really nice shape for my giraffe's eye. Right there. And you're going to create the tear duct like you always have. Giraffes have a second like an under eyelid, just like humans do. And you can put in the eye right there. So that will give you the way that the eye needs to be drawn. On top of this is a bone. So you're going to... What?
It's supposed to be potatoes. It's not yours. It's supposed to be mama's.
Okay, Nathaniel, do you have a question? All right. Yeah. So, next thing, we've got the face in place. Now let's go for the horn. So here's the bone. Check that you have it high enough. I feel like I want to make it just a tad bit higher. So I'm going to increase that height and just a little bit and bend it over because it feels like it was too close to my eye itself. Put your pencil on this eye diagonally like this. That will be the direction of its horn. So what are we saying? We are saying that we're going to take the bone structure and we're going to go up. Now I'm going to take off this back line. I do not need this. And I'm going to keep my distance from the eye. The base of the horn is wider. And as you get up, it might spread a bit. And then like so. We are going to make the second horn. Notice it is not as high as the first. So you're going to drop it and it will come in front of my giraffe in the back. So to help me, I'm going to take away a little bit of my drawing so it's not muddled. You're going to make a curve on the top, straight lines to the side, and then you're going to bring it inward and a little straighter to the back. So that will give you your horn for the other side. Moving on to the ear, that will be your next thing. So start watching the picture ahead of time, and that way you'll kind of already start thinking about it. So you're going to first make the back of the neckline, which kind of moves off like so. And from the underside, right here, right below the eye, here, this is where the inside of the neck will start. So you have those two lines that you can draw up now. We're moving towards the ear next. If this is the outside of my eye, I'm going to put one more line for the inside of the ear, right? But it's a parallel. You can see it matches to the eye. I'm going to take my ear outside of the face. One. The bottom line being longer than the top line. So I'll take away this much of the neck. Top line is shorter, bottom line is longer. And you're going to push up. So make it a nice curve. Don't make it a sharp corner right there. Next, you're looking for a diamond shape on the ear, but I want your eyes on the gap here between the ear and the corner. So see where you bent this horn? Across from it, this is where you would like the corner of the ear to be, and you can bring it in. So I'm looking at this negative space right now to make sure that I'm very close to what I'm drawing. And you're looking to create a perfect diamond almost. So I made the top, I made the bottom. Can I join up the bottom of the ear with this? And can join up the inside of the ear like here. The last thing that I would ask all of you to do is you're going to put in the few spots that you see on your giraffe, because it will make your life a whole lot easier. If you happen to have a brown pencil, it would be a great idea if you didn't draw this with a black pencil, but instead got yourself some sort of a brown, because then it will just blend in with your colors. So what you're going to do is, remember, no circular dots, please. Giraffes don't have spots. They have they have this pattern, and it's more geometrical. So if you look at it carefully, you want to be able to get that. I'm going to start from one side and just start making the giraffe dots right here. And you can use the picture on the computer as a reference point, and if you want to just kind of start creating these various spots, you are more than welcome to do so, please. You do not have to copy me. I'm just going with what I see on my main picture. Again, that's on my computer.
That's rude.
There are no spots on this, the giraffe in the back on the upper part of the face. There's a lot of color blending there. So you don't have to worry about that part. Another thing you all can draw in is you can draw in the dark area on the inside of the ear. So for example, that's a dark area right there. And you would literally use a black over there. Give you about a minute more and then we're going to get into our color blending. So you're going to need your palette. Remember the cardboard with the aluminum wrapped around it? That's the one that we're using.
Miss Daisy,
Yeah?
I need help on the top giraffe. My bottom giraffe is okay. I'm not happy with like the nose and the eyes.
So one of the things you did was your the place where you have the nostrils, you want to expand that. Let me show you here.
I just have one quick question. On the 3rd of April and the 10th of April, 2 Saturdays, did you train in the morning?
Yeah, I did, but tomorrow I will not.
No, so then how many teachers attended? उनका कितना बढ़ाना है?
So for the last Saturday, 2 hours. The one before that, an hour and a half.
For everybody?
Sachin, I'm in the class. Come on.
Who are the teachers who train? You can just tell me the names.
Oh, so
Lee, Jessica, Cassandra, Wheeler. That's it. And Kyrie.
Kyrie just recently came, and you have to check when she started.
No, she started 2 weeks ago, but did she train?
Sachin, she trained.
That's all, huh?
Mm.
Not
Okay.
the girl, Pamela, huh?
Pamela's been, she's had 2 sessions so far, training. In the first one, she came in 20 minutes late. That's all. Okay, so here we go. You want to take out most all your colors. What you're going to do is, what you need to understand about painting. Let me give you a basic foundation here. When you have to paint something like a giraffe, you want to create a pot of color that will first be the color of their spots. You will use that pot of color to create the background colors and any other tones that you want to create for the giraffe. So you don't try to mix different tones like by individually mixing. So watch me first for a minute. First step. Going to take out my yellow. I need a nice amount of the brown that I see for my spots. The basic recipe for brown is to mix all 3 colors together. The primary colors, that is. So here you go. Take this. And now I'm looking for a sienna brown. So make sure that the blue that you pull into the combination of your red and orange. Look at this color. I like this color tone. This looks like a perfect color for spots. But just hold out, please, 1 minute, okay? This is your main color. This one is going to be your main color. So what you're going to do next is you need a little bit of darker brown. You need a lot of the very light brown for the face. So I'm going to put out a lot of white here that I can use to paint down the face totally. Please keep watching so as I can show you all of the different things. I'm going to grab a very tiny bit of my brown and mix this into this huge amount of the white and create for myself a very, very subtle and a light kind of a color hue for the main body. This is going to be the color that I'll use for my main body. Now, this done, Notice that the front of your giraffe's face is very, very pale looking. So you're going to have another amount of white. And you're going to mix into this one a larger amount of your brown. And you're going to add to this. So look at the brown that I'm getting now. So I'm creating all my colors so that I can start mixing and I can work with all the colors. So I need it a little bit darker but lighter than that main color. So this is a really nice color that I can use for like the snout area and everything. It looks really close, but I would like to take a little extra of my red into this, maybe even orange. So I'm going to add a little bit of yellow and orange to this to make it a little bit, I'm sorry, yellow and red. I keep saying orange. I'm trying to go for an orange. And I'm going to create a more like a rusty kind of a color. Take a little bit more of my brown here. And this would be a really good color tone for my side. Last color to create is going to be a black with this dark brown in the middle. So you don't want to use all of your black for making a color. You want to use a little bit of it right there and take a big chunk of this, and you can mix this in to create one of the really dark tones that we will be using. So I need you to create 4 different colors. The central color from which you will create a very pale for the basic skin. You will create a more pink, orangey kind of a look for the snout and everything. And then you'll have a really dark one so that you can use that. Go ahead and start with this.
Miss Daisy,
Yeah.
so how do you do the last one?
The last one is my dark brown. So it's got this, it's just black with the brown. I'm trying to see if I can change the light in this room a little bit so it can be brighter for you kids and you can see the colors more accurately.
Okay.
Okay, we have about 20 minutes left in which we are going to start working on our paint. So we're going to start with the bottom giraffe. And my guess is that we are probably going to have enough time just to do one of them. So be that the case, let's start up. So let's talk a little bit about the colors. Start with your lightest color and apply it everywhere. Don't worry about whether you are working with a light or a dark color. Apply this tone all over the skin of your giraffe. Just watch me for a minute, please, so that I can explain this whole process to you. Hold on, I want to grab a filbert. So I'm going to put this in everywhere nice and easy. And now even in the eye, if it makes it easy for you, you don't have to hesitate. You can go into the giraffe's eye and it will not hurt you to have this color everywhere because it will make it more uniform. Now that I've spread this out, what I'm going to do is grab my medium tone and start pushing this in over the nostril area, this part. And because the colors are still going to be wet and active, you can definitely do a lot of blending here. And I bring in a little bit of my cream to help it move and make it more natural looking. So the trick is you put down a color, yes, you mix it as much as you want to, and if it doesn't mix like a proper gradient, what you can do is you can bring back your original color to help it mix a little bit. That's how we kind of really get good gradients in our painting styles. So again, I'm looking at my picture. I think I want a little bit more of this color over the giraffe's eye. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there and a little bit more over here. You can start now and we'll keep working simultaneously. Please keep looking up. If I really need you to watch what I'm doing, I will say so and I will get your attention here one more time. For the bottom of the giraffe's face, I want a little bit more darkness here. So I'm going to apply the tan color that we created for our various tones. This one, the underside of the mouth, go in a bit darker. And I apply this into here and also on the inner corner of the giraffe's eye. Now remember, when you put color down and you don't want it to be sticking out like a sore thumb, grab some of your original light color and help it to blend all around. The blending process is one that you need to be patient about and you need to take your time to do so. This cannot be done in a rush. You can.
Daisy,
Uh-huh.
do you think like maybe you could take a picture of this?
Which?
Of those giraffes.
You mean the ones on my computer or the one that I'm doing?
The one that you're doing.
Well, I'm recording it, so I can share the recording with you later on if that helps you. Would you like that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I will send the recording out. I have to load it up to YouTube, so give me a day or two because I have to push it onto YouTube. Once it's up there properly, then I can share out. No problem at all. And I'm going to also apply this. Look at how natural my tones are blending. I'm not sitting here with any tone that looks harsh. So that's the one thing I'm striving for. I want to make sure that I get a really gradual, smooth kind of a blend. I don't want to end up with something that doesn't feel like it's a nice gradient. So this is how I create a nice flush look to the basic skin tone. Now I'd like you to use the same technique on the back giraffe. We are down to 15 minutes, everyone, so I'll remind you of the time and I'll keep you all moving. Remember how we did the entire face first? We didn't even stop for the eyes, ears, or anything. So I'm asking you to do the same on the back. Now, the only time, in my experience, students tend to have a bit of a problem is when they have not mixed enough of a certain main color. So remember when we started, I got you all to make like a sienna brown. That was your main color for the entire giraffe. From the sienna brown, we created more. So what happens is a lot of times students will try to be careful about how much they make of the color to where they don't have enough of it. And once they don't have enough of it, then it's a problem. So you have to make sure that you give yourself enough for movement. and then you'll be perfectly fine. Now, starting, because this giraffe is in front of the first one, I'm going to go ahead and put in a little bit of a darkness right there on the underside and give it into the body as well. I'm going to add this right here. Now I'm not working on the spots at all. So if you see my picture and you think, oh, she's gone for the spots, not yet. I'll let you know when I start working. I only place the color where I need it. Then I go back, grab some white, fresh color to help it blend. And my blending process is a lot of tapping. Tap, 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 tap. If I want to darken up this side, I can use the really dark brown that we made. Remember that one? I can also bring that one in so that I create a distinction between the front giraffe and the back one. And I don't need to feel like they're going to feel like which one is what's the conflict. Everything from the colors that we made. I did not make another color to help me create all the tones that I've got. I'm sticking to the ones that I showed you. And whenever I can't blend anymore, I bring back in the white so that I can use that to help me really achieve a good gradient. And it's as simple as that. So your colors work with each other. And I'm not worried about the spots because I promise you, when the paint dries, you will still be able to see your colors. Or rather, I should say the lines for the spots that we drew. Now I'm going up to the front and I want to make this front of this giraffe's face more of a rusty color. So I'm going to mix two tones into it, which is the medium tone for the skin, for the snout thing, as well as the sienna brown. Going to use both of them to help me get the right effect. Trust your eyes. The biggest recipe here is you got to trust your eyes. No matter how much you think, oh, I don't think this is right or whatever, you got to not give in to what your eyes are telling you. A lot of times, our mind tells us, hey, a giraffe is supposed to have brown spots and it's generally supposed to be this. And I've seen students mix colors based on what they remember seeing a giraffe as, and then it's hard to kind of get them back into the place where I can work with them. So it's really important that you trust your references that you have in front of you. That's why our artists will go out in the field and they will create their own data bank, so to say. That's the word for a data bank. And they get pictures so that they are not infringing on anyone else's copyright of any sort. Now, as I'm moving around the giraffe's face, I'm taking the time to make sure that I'm blending to my satisfaction. I want to feel like, yes, I've done my job and I've blended as much or as little as I needed to. We are down to 10 minutes, everyone. The spots themselves are a lot more easier to do, which is why I'm not worried about this. I think because all of you all are my advanced students, I would like to be able to work more on technique with you guys. So I spend a lot of time working on the technique. So if I'm taking my time, and even if my clock is ticking, I cannot rush this part. So I won't. When you want to show a curve on, for example, the horn of the giraffe, you want to darken on the outer sides like so. So that this is how you create the feeling of like curvature. If you are trying to, not show a flat kind of a painting, but show body and perspective and all that, yeah. So you need to give a light and dark. I clean my brush very frequently just to kind of keep a control on the different tones that I've got working. If I feel my brush is overloaded with a certain color, it is important for me to make sure that I clean it out so that I can work with it. That feels fine to me. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark here, clean my brush, take more of the cream to help it kind of get merged. So the bottom side of the ear is cream, yes, but it also gets a deeper tone compared to the rest of the skin. I use very little amounts to kind of just help me create like a gradient. And then so I've left the nostrils bright because you're going to be putting black in there, and so I did not need to do anything more over there. The bottom of this part of the jaw needs a bit of darkening, as does the top. Now, if you are satisfied with the way that you have blended up the color tones and all for the giraffe's face, your next step to go to will be the spots and the dark of the eyes and the dark in the ears and things like that. So that's what you would go to for the next part of it. So let's look at this now. Starting from the back over there. I'm taking the black that I have and I'm putting in a really nice dark line here. Remember what light spots, very important. Now this looks really dark, so I'm going to add some brown into the eye. And I'm adding the dark brown, not the light brown. So you will understand that you're not going to be able to see Now I'm rubbing over that very first black line because I don't want it to be so harsh. So it gives it a lighter look because my cream is still active on the bottom of it. Now we're at the time where I would close. If any of you need to leave to go get into another class or you're done for the day, just leave. I'm going to paint on for another like 5 minutes before I let you all go. So you are welcome to watch and stay with me, and or you can leave if you have to be somewhere else.
Have a great evening.
Thank you. You do the same.
Miss Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, I'm kind of. Does this look alright? Or do you think I should lighten it up more?
No. Your blending is really good. You also have to capture the other areas of the blend. Do me a favor. Take a screenshot of my screen right now so that you have it, because I cannot send you the giraffe pictures themselves. That I won't be able to do because they're not mine to share. But you can take your screenshot right now, and so you can use that as reference point as you're finishing off later on.
Okay, can I take okay, one. Okay, I got it.
right, I'm gonna be stopping here for now. But you guys carry on, and when I put this on YouTube, I'll send you guys a link for it. But I gotta go get the other kids, and they're gonna hate me for this right now. Sorry, but I'll get it out to you.
Can you share it one more time? One more time.
Yeah, I can. Where is the... No. I did a stop share, so let me see if I can find it again. Screen share, here we go. Share, here you go.
It's not, okay.
I want to have more time on this one, I really do. Enjoy painting animals, but this feels like a rush. Okay?
Okay.
All right.